World Series wins are built on smart manager decisions. Every little decision from where a hitter bats, to which relief pitcher comes in from the bullpen, to defensive positioning can all affect the final outcome of a World Series game, for better or for worse. Perhaps the most famous example, Dodgers manager Tommy Lasorda brought in Kirk Gibson to pinch hit in the 9th inning in the 1988 World Series, where he hit one of the most famous home runs in World Series history. Another example that works the other way involves former Red Sox first baseman Dave Stapleton. The Red Sox won 7 games during the 1986 postseason, and Dave Stapleton was brought in as a late-game defensive replacement in all 7 games. Everyday first baseman Bill Buckner was a poor defender towards the end of his career, and Stapleton would relieve him in those important games. The one game Stapleton didn't sub in for Buckner, where Boston had the lead entering the final inning, was Game 6 of the World Series, and as 99% of you are probably aware, that was the game where the ball rolled through Buckner's legs, allowing the winning run to score. These little decisions are vital and can make or break a game. With that being said, there was an important and overlooked manager decision during the 1955 World Series that changed baseball history. The 1955 World Series was played between the New York Yankees and Brooklyn Dodgers, and these two teams could not have been any different entering the series. Entering 1955, the Yankees had won 16 World Series, including 6 in the last 7 seasons and 12 in the last 18 seasons. Those 16 World Series wins since 1923 were only coupled with 2 losses. They had established themselves as the most successful sports franchise ever. The Brooklyn Dodgers had not won a single World Series. Ever since the first World Series was played in 1903, the Dodgers had played in 7 World Series and lost all of them. Not only were they 0 for 7, 5 of those series losses were against the New York Yankees. Not only were the Yankees successful, they beat up on the Dodgers on every occasion they met. Brooklyn had perhaps the worst playoff stretch of any professional sports team in American sports history. In the 1955 World Series, the Yankees won games 1 and 2, but Brooklyn came back to win games 3 through 5, one win away from their first World Series win in franchise history. However, as they always do, the Yankees flipped the script, winning Game 6 convincingly. Brooklyn was in danger of blowing a 3-2 lead and losing a disastrous 8th consecutive World Series. The Yankees were looking to do what they do best, win the World Series and win against the Dodgers. Considering Game 7 was taking place at Yankee Stadium, momentum was in favor of the Yankees. Game 7 was a close pitcher's duel as both teams went scoreless through the first 3 innings. Brooklyn scratched out a couple of runs and led 2-0 entering the bottom of the 6th. Before the bottom of the 6th started, Dodgers manager Walter Alston made a couple of key moves. Thanks in part to a Dodgers rally in the top half that brought in a run, Alston had a lefty outfielder George Shuba pinch hit for right-handed infielder Don Zimmer with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Shuba grounded out, failing to drive in a run, but his pinch hitting appearance set up the most important manager decision in Brooklyn Dodgers history. With George Shuba in place of Don Zimmer, the Dodgers needed to replace Shuba with an infielder, as Shuba was an outfielder. The current left fielder Jim Gilliam moved from left field to second base as he played a lot of second base in his career. In to replace Gilliam in left field was outfielder Sandy Amoros. This move is rather interesting because Alston didn't need to do this. Instead of moving his left fielder to second base, the Dodgers had a second baseman on the bench that could have came in as a replacement for Zimmer. You may have heard of this bench player, his name is Jackie Robinson. That's right, legendary Jackie Robinson was on the bench during Game 7 of the 1955 World Series. Why, you might ask? We don't know for certain, but there are theories. Robinson had struggled all year. 1955 was the only season of his career he posted a below-average offensive season. Robinson started games 1 through 6 of the World Series and batted .182 with a .250 on base and .318 slugging. Not only was he struggling offensively, he also committed 2 errors, one in Game 5 and one in Game 6. His season-long and recent struggles could have been a reason why Alston benched him. There were also alleged rumors of Robinson being hurt, which could be another reason why he sat in Game 7. Others speculate that we'll never know. Whatever the reason is, one of the greatest players of all time did not appear in Game 7 of the World Series. So, instead of Alston making the logical choice of subbing Robinson in for Zimmer, he moved Gilliam II and brought in the left-handed outfielder Amoros to play left field. Him being a lefty is super important. The Yankees started the inning with back-to-back hits. With 2 on and no outs, future Hall of Famer Yogi Berra stepped up to the plate. Berra hit a high fly ball down the left field line. Amoros ran in front of the stands and made an outstanding running catch with only a few feet of room before the wall. The runner on first base, Gil McDougall, had misread the ball and was far from the base when Amoros made the catch. He quickly threw the ball back into the infield and the Dodgers doubled up McDougall. Brooklyn exited the inning without allowing a run to score. Had Amoros not made that catch, that ball certainly would have landed fair, allowing one, if not both runs to score. Best case scenario, the ball bounces for a ground rule double and the Yankees cut the lead to 2-1 and have 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out. Had Gilliam remained in the game at left field, he probably would not have made the catch. A big reason why Amoros made the catch is because he was a lefty and had the advantage of an easier reach with his right arm. Gilliam, a right-handed outfielder, would have to reach across his body and may not have been able to make that catch. That defensive play proved dividends as Brooklyn would win Game 7 2-0, the only World Series the Dodgers ever won while in Brooklyn. Whether it was for a good reason or a bad one, Robinson being on the bench was the only reason Alston was able to bring in Amoros to play left field, making perhaps the most overlooked and forgotten World Series game-saving catch in MLB history. Alston's defensive sub moves changed the outcome of the game and baseball history in general. Had he not made those moves, things may have turned out very differently for both teams and Major League Baseball. It goes to show how small, insignificant moves can have monumental outcomes.